St. Francis of Assisi famously said, "What you're looking for is what is looking." Or did he? When I did a little research online, I found out that he probably didn't actually say that. But he's quoted as saying it in various ways all over the place. He may have. If anyone knows of this quote or where to find it, let me know. But the truth of it is, it doesn't actually matter whether he said it. I've heard once that a myth is something that has too much truth to be encompassed by mere fact. Which, if the truth resonates deeply, I think that's true. If it doesn't, it's probably more of a conspiracy theory. But the saying itself is actually a powerful pointer, and I've heard it used by others as well, including Muji. And it is this: what it is that you're looking for really is what's doing the looking. Now, to understand this intellectually, to hear this and go, oh, that sounds cool, I like that, makes me feel good, it really isn't the point. This really is the representation of a culmination of a lot of seeking, a lot of searching, a lot of authentic inquiry. So you kind of have to go on the journey to find out that this really is true. You have to actually go on the journey to come to this place where this hits you over the head so hard that your universe turns inside out. Life looks very different after this point. So merely believing this because it makes you feel good really isn't the point. It's fine, but it's not the point. To get to the deeper truth of this, I'll tell an old Zen story called Inyadata lost her head, or Inyadata's head. So her name is Inyadata. She's a young woman who, one day, for whatever reason, perceived that she lost her head. She couldn't find her head. She started looking all over the place, running around, telling her friends, "Oh my God, I've lost my head. Have you seen my head?" And her friends kept saying, "Your head's there. It's on your shoulders where it always is." She'd say, No, I can't find my head. I'm sure I can't find it." So she looked all over. She asked everybody she knew. She searched far and wide. Finally, she went so crazy, they just tied her up, tied her to a pole and said, "Just stop running around acting so crazy." So she stood there, frustrated, still completely convinced she had no head. And finally, somebody, out of their own frustration of trying to explain it to her, just hit her over the head. And when she felt that and said, "Ouch!" suddenly it dawned on her what had happened. She was looking for her head with her head. She was looking out of her head to find her head. Now, this is the culmination of self-inquiry. We have to actually become curious. We have to get into this state of confusion, realizing how much we actually suffer because of the seeking. But the seeking is linked to the sense of something missing. So we seek, we look for it. And at some point we perceive that we are what is missing, the true sense of self. How did I lose myself? How did I get so off center? So we search. And we search. And we search. Now, of course, all along it's the self that's searching, but it's still searching in a dualistic way. You're still taking yourself to be something apart from that which it's searching for. And you can't fake your way out of that. You have to be authentic about this. And the way to get authentic about it is to examine thoughts. Notice all these thoughts about me. I'm the seeker. I'm the one trying to find something. Oh, I got closer. Oh, I got far again. I was almost there. I almost woke up and then something happened. Or I always get this far in practice and then this happens and this thought distracts me. Or, oh, I kind of understand self-inquiry, but then this happens and that happens. Right? Noticing that all of these thoughts feel like they're about something that feels like me or something called me, but I can't actually find it when I look because those thoughts come and go. But the sense of me isn't contingent upon any of them. So what the heck is it? How could I find it? So the point is, you have to actually become curious about this. And the way to become curious is to see how deceptive thought actually is. how distorting thoughts are. If you don't see that clearly enough, by really examining those thoughts that feel like your thoughts, then you won't have the fuel behind this to become genuinely curious, to genuinely start looking for the answer. Now, it's strange but true that the question doesn't have to be formulated as, who am I, necessarily. It can be, where am I? It can even be something that doesn't seem to be related to I, but results in the same effect of a sort of one-pointed investigation, fueled by your own curiosity and deep dissatisfaction with life. So this is where koans come in. What is mu? What was my face before my parents were born? So again, you have to become curious at some point about the nature of thoughts and how we're taking our thoughts to be who we are, including the thoughts about the past, information about our history, beliefs about what we want, what we don't want, what we like, what we don't like. We see that all of that is thought. Then it naturally follows we'll become curious, well, what the heck am I then? If all of those defining thoughts don't point to what I am because they're just thoughts, well, what the heck am I? Where am I? So with that curiosity, the search actually begins. So don't let anyone tell you that seeking is worthless. Seeking is valuable when you're seeking something of value. Self-inquiry is a very powerful process, but it has to be done in earnest. You have to actually be curious. You have to be actually desperate at some point. That desperation, the anguish, fuels the process of seeking. So then what self-inquiry does is turns the seeking in on itself, gets at its own root. You can hear 1,000 times that what's looking is what you're looking for, or that which is doing the seeking is that which is sought after. But it will never really click until, first of all, you become genuinely curious. Second of all, you admit your own frustration, anguish. That's the fire that fuels this whole process. And third, become one-pointed. Collapse the constant tendency to separate oneself through thought, apparently separate oneself, between the subject of thought and the object of thought. This is why I point to, once you start to disidentify from thoughts again and again, you have to move toward the thought stuff, the thought structure. Not making distance, going, oh, there's another thought, here's another thought, I'm watching the thoughts. Because I'm watching the thoughts is another thought. The watcher itself is a thought. Once you let that go, where do you go? Where do you move? It becomes intimate, close. This is where the one-pointed approach is very powerful, because everything becomes one-pointed. You, everything, life, death, seeking, the sought after, the seeker, all of that just collapses down into one point of pure inquiry. That's where transformation can happen, but you have to go all the way. Don't let yourself hold any views, including the view of I'm watching thoughts, I'm the watcher, I know how this goes. Those are all thoughts. You just have to go in, until things get very quiet. And then don't let up.